The Harry Potter reboot is on the way, and the castings now have been made clear. Variety reporting on who has been put in the positions of the roles you love. Today, we'll tell you what's going on and whether J.K. Rowling from up above is declaring these things are canon and true. It's the Snape decision in particular that has fans scratching their heads. But we'll tell you what we think and what Warner Brothers HBO should do. Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we, as ever, analyze entertainment, bringing you the latest news when it comes to everything with the culture curve. As we get ready to get started today, consider clicking the like button. And folks, we have a spicy one indeed. There are people on both sides of this issue, and we are going to take the position of bringing you the best information we have and letting you decide because you have the highest IQ online. Click the like button. And here we go. Folks, take a look at this. It's out of thatparkplace.com, the website that if you're not yet bookmarked to it, well, you should be. Harry Potter reboot casting choices verified, including Lithgow as Dumbledore, and is it pronounced Essedu? Is that how I say that, guys?
I don't know.
Essedu?
Essedu as Snape, igniting online reaction. And for the reasons of how the internet works, we have been very subdued in this article, so hang with us. There is a ton of pressure facing the creators of the Harry Potter reboot series on HBO. The continuation of the property's relevance likely lies in their hands, and Universal Studios alone has billions invested in the idea that the property will remain abundantly popular. New casting choices released today by Variety are certainly interesting. From Lithgow to Essedu, there are big risk-reward chances being taken. HBO has officially unveiled for the first wave of casting its highly anticipated Harry Potter television series, marking a significant step forward in the franchise's expansion into long-form storytelling. So who have they picked? Well, they have John Lithgow as Dumbledore. They have Janet McTeer as Professor.
She'll be great, and Lithgow will be great. Those two aren't iffy. The next one maybe is another story.
All right, folks, this is who they have selected to be Severus Snape, who I'm now going to be calling Unserious Snape. There are a number of things odd about this pick, and I'm going to be a little bit bizarre here and say that so the race swap issue is a thing. However, if you told me that you were swapping out a character with pale skin for Morgan Freeman, in most films I'd say, love Morgan Freeman, go for it. If you told me that you were switching out a pale-skinned character traditionally with Denzel Washington, most times I would say, fantastic. I freaking love Denzel Washington. Let's do it. Here is the problem. I feel like this is being done because Harry Potter was too pale, and so this is a solution to that. But this gentleman named Papa Essedu, I guess is his name, he looks young. He looks really young. He looks mid-20s young. I know he's 30, but he looks mid-20s young. I don't understand anything about this casting. Maybe he's the greatest actor of all times, but this is our panel. I'm going to hand it to you. What do you think?
So I was talking to Jonas about this, and Jonas knows a little bit more about this than I do. And from what he relayed to me was that the Alan Rickman casting for the original films was kind of the first of the professors to be cast. And unfortunately, because all of those professors, they kind of they share story beats and so forth. And remember that Alan Rickman's character, Severus Snape, he interacts with Harry's family and so forth in various ways. So it kind of pushed all of the cast up in age, higher in age than they were depicted in the films. I'm sorry, in the books, I should say.
He looks 25 to me, so I'm struggling. I know they can put prosthetics or whatever, but he looks 25.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He's supposed to be kind of I guess he's described in the books as kind of this pale-skinned, I don't know,
sallow,
almost
the word.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be in love with Harry's mom. Spoiler alert, folks. But he's supposed to be in love with Harry's mom. How is that if Harry is 10, 11, 12, and this dude looks like he's 25. Like, what in the world is going on with this pick?
Well, it's magic, don't you know?
And he's also supposed to be working in the dungeon, so that would make sense that he would be as pale as he was, at least how he was depicted in the books and films and so forth. And here's the other thing, too, though. You see, Snape and his character goes through some traumatic stuff when he's a kid, and he's persecuted, relentlessly by his fellow classmates and so forth. And that's where he kind of separates himself out, and that's kind of why he falls in love with Harry's mom, because I think she's one of the only ones that actually provide some kindness in a very cruel world there. So that takes on a very different tenor and tone when you race swap in the way that they have here.
Well, there's an interesting video going around of what's his name, Jason Isaacs, who played the senior Malfoy in the original stuff, and he talks about going into the session and getting cast, and that they wanted him to wear a certain outfit, and he said no, he should be wearing this. And then they said, well, we'll have you with short hair. He said, no, I should have long blonde hair. And they said, well, Dumbledore has long hair. And they said, so this is a one-wig movie? So there's a certain amount of flex. It's an interesting interview if you go look for it. There's a certain amount of flexibility involved. Certainly, there was a multiracial cast in the Fantastic Beasts movies, and it didn't take anything away from it. The question to me is whether this guy can be scary malevolent enough. And I've never seen him perform. I don't know. When you talk about he doesn't look like Snape, that picture of him as Hamlet doesn't look like anything we know about Hamlet either, but it was a innovative production. So
listen, I want to be careful about this, because there is a problem when you cast for quotas. And so if that's what they've done here, if they looked and said Hogwarts is too white, then you don't need to do it that way. If they said this guy is awesome, and we're missing out if we don't have him, and he is the perfect Snape, then I want to see what you're talking about. I guess my question I'll hand to the panel is this something akin to casting Denzel in a traditionally, European descended role?
You mean like The Equalizer?
Yes, I love Denzel Washington in the Equalizer movie.
Yeah, there you go. But my question is this: I am not enormously familiar with the details of the Harry Potter canon. Is there theoretically a Hogwarts-style academy for young wizards in America and in South America and in other places? Because presuming that the one in England draws primarily from people in England, the percentage of people of color would be relatively low. Well, anyway,
here's the interesting thought I've been trying to consider is this more akin to, as you said, Denzel Washington in The Equalizer, or is this Disney selecting Rachel Zegler for Snow White? And I don't know the answer to that, because I'm not a huge Harry Potter person. So I hand it to the panel and say, which category do you think this lands?
Well, presumably this has the sign off and okay of J.K. Rowling. I'm thinking, right? So there is something to that particular idea, which makes me lean a bit more towards the Denzel Washington example that you gave. It's really tough to say, and I find it fascinating though, just taking a step backwards and looking at the entire conversation over Harry Potter. They really are playing the audience masterfully, because here we are going on and on about all the various side characters. We don't even know who will be playing Harry, Hermione, or Ron yet. And it feels like whoever it is on their media relations team is just they've figured out how to milk this all the way to the beginning of the actual show once it airs.
I'm leaning more towards this it's if this is like picking a great actor of any color, I'm okay with it. Bash.
Yeah, and here's the thing: I'm not opposed. I'm not deeply opposed to colorblind casting, and sometimes it can really enhance a certain character, a role. It can match up beautifully with the actor being cast in certain roles. It's just when it gets to a point when it feels a little bit more virtue signaling than actual, like, hey, this is the guy that was born to fit this role right here, I think that's when I think a lot of us get a little bit hesitant about the creative decisions being made. And here's the thing. I think there were a number of roles where you could have had other actors of color and so forth take the roles of many of the cast of Harry Potter right there. But to do it with Severus Snape, I think it comes with some complexities, especially regarding race, that I don't think have been well thought out. And it does really change the dynamic of how he interacts with the world around him and how they interact with him.
Absolutely. Lauren, you were trying to get in earlier. Your comment, sir.
I think we're asking the wrong question. I don't think it matters about the casting. And maybe I'm wrong, but it feels to me like, why are we even redoing the series in the first place?
I love this question.
It does not feel to me like, I mean, I know it's been 25 years since they started the original series, but when you talk about classic movies, that's not that long, you know, and the thing that I keep going back to in my mind is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The Gene Wilder version of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is iconic, and you wouldn't change it. They tried to remake it with Johnny Depp. It didn't work. It didn't work. It was
Rings
its own
of
thing.
Power.
Right. It's like, why would you do this? And I know the reason is we want to try and make some more money, but you're not going to touch those original works, in my opinion. I don't think. I think what they should have done, in my opinion, is something. I know they already tried this with Fantastic Beasts, but I think something in a different time period would have been better, like the Hogwarts video game that came out last year. You could go back 100 years, and I think they could do something there that could work. I think remaking the originals, I don't think that's going to work.
Yeah, and the other difference, Pro, when you talk about Denzel or the other actors that you mentioned, is they bring something to the table in their own presence. This guy's unknown to everybody but British theater buffs. So, you know, it's it may work, it may not work, but if the show fails, it won't just be because of him. That's for sure.
Well, folks, we'll pay attention to it, and Lauren could be correct on this one. From the way I approach this, Warner Brothers is likely saying to themselves, we have to keep this relevant. There are no new books on the way. So how do we keep the kiddos watching? How do we keep pumping out resources from this franchise? And that's what they're going to. But from my eyes, Lauren just might be right on this one, and it may be too soon. We shall see. And yet again, folks, we have come to the end. But what a video it has been, and we hope you agree. Folks, if you had a good time with us, consider clicking that like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell, and drop a comment right on down below. We care about your thoughts. Folks, we also want to invite you to partake in thatparkplace.com. Of course, www. You get the idea. Thatparkplace.com. It is the website telling the truth, and it is a rising star across the web for pop culture news coverage and analysis. Go over there and bookmark it today. Folks, we're bookmarking you as a great guest that we appreciate. Until the next time we have the honor of spending time with you, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, folks, you better believe it, keep having fun.
Jump into the water. Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun.
So I give them cannonball. Yeah!
Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio.
Arizona. Pineapple pizza, Hawaiian ice freeze, yeah. Can't wait to be up. 3 days of you and me.
What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.